We've got to talk about Democrat Representative Eric Swalwell out of the state of California because he has resigned from running for governor of California. He's dropped out of the race. I want to talk about that a little bit, but I also want to talk about something else that's going on behind the scenes that I find quite interesting, and I want to get your thoughts and your opinions on all of that. So before we hop into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. It's totally free. And if you're not subscribed to my second channel, that link is down below in the description box. Hope to see you guys over there. But let's hop right on into the announcement that he was dropping out of the race. Check it out.
Starting with a major shakeup in the race for Governor, Eric Swalwell is out. In just a few days, Swalwell had gone from being a front runner in this race for governor to fighting accusations that have upended his 20-year career in Congress.
Yeah, and there are also calls now for Swalwell to resign or be removed from Congress by fellow lawmakers. NBC Bay Area's Alyssa Gord joins us live in Dublin, where Swalwell grew up and represents. Alyssa, a lot of people there thought this was coming.
And Gia, now there are many major endorsements for Swalwell that have been withdrawn just over the last couple of days, and also major Democratic leaders who have said that they want to see him step out of the race. On top of that, multiple current and former staff members adding to those calls. Now, Swalwell posting at around 5:30 this evening that he's suspending his campaign, apologizing for mistakes in judgment in the past, and saying he will fight the serious and false allegations that have been made. This comes today after 55 former congressional and campaign staffers who worked with Swalwell signed a public letter calling on him to end his campaign for California governor and resign from Congress, saying they believe the women's allegations. Prior to that, current senior staffers with his office issued an unsigned letter saying they are horrified by the allegations against him. Meanwhile, there are efforts in motion to have Congress vote to remove both Swalwell and Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas, who also faces sexual misconduct allegations. As we've mentioned, Swalwell has denied these allegations, releasing this message on Friday.
They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position.
And we also heard from a University of San Francisco politics professor who explained that many of the folks behind the scenes in the political world expected that Swalwell would step out from this race. Now he faces an additional hurdle that we're learning about today. U.S. Immigration Services says it's been collecting information about allegations about Swalwell that he hired a Brazilian nanny without lawful work authorization. Now, Immigration Services saying this case has been referred to DHS law enforcement for investigation. Live in Dublin, Alyssa Gord, NBC Bay Area News.
Yeah, a lot to unpack. Alyssa, thank you. Before Swalwell dropped out.
So, yeah, you got the gist of it there. Lots of allegations being thrown around, including some immigration issues that he may be facing as well. All of this is quite interesting stuff, man. All of this is quite interesting stuff. Now, I want to play a clip from CNN on one of his accusers, or with one of his accusers, and what allegedly happened in one of these situations. Check it out.
I decided to ask him to meet me for a drink. And I did this because I was so far removed from what had happened in 2019. I felt safe because I was established, I had a partner, I felt more secure that I could have a strictly professional relationship with this person. After that bar closed, we went to another. I went to the bathroom, and I don't remember anything after that.
You don't remember anything?
I remember the next day, I can see flashes of that evening, of him on top of me pushing him off, him grabbing me. It was a lot more aggressive. It was aggressive.
Did you say no?
Yes, I said no. In my flash that I can recall, I was pushing him off of me, saying no.
And what did he do?
He didn't stop.
He didn't stop. And you woke up the next morning.
I woke up the next morning naked, alone in his hotel room. I, for a moment, didn't even know I was in his hotel room. That's how intoxicated I was. And I called my mom, the only person I could think that could help me.
And we were able to corroborate that by speaking with friends and family she confided in, reviewing photos and screenshots of contemporaneous text messages. And we also reviewed a message from her medical provider the week after she received the pregnancy and STD tests, calling her a, quote, survivor.
Yeah, so I'll admit, when I first started hearing this, I was like, this sounds fabricated, you know? But then at the end where she kind of, you know, hey, we corroborated this with texts and phone calls and medical records and things, I was like, okay, now it feels a bit more legit. And I'm going to tell you why I was a little bit skeptical, because I know he's a Democrat, so I really don't give a crap, right? Because the Democrat Party is absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible. But here's one of the reasons why. I had the clip pulled up. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So, for those of you that don't know, in California, they have a jungle primary, basically, where it's just everybody out there, and whoever are the top two vote getters, those are the two individuals who go on to a general. Doesn't matter if it's two Republicans. Doesn't matter if it's two Democrats. It could be a Republican and a Democrat. Doesn't matter. Whoever's the top two is who moves on to a general election. And as you guys can see here on your screen, as of today, in this entire time, really, the top two people in the polls are two Republicans. Meaning, either way, California was on track to have a Republican as governor. It's just the way that their system is set up, right? Even if you're a Democrat in California and don't want to vote for a Republican, you wouldn't have had a choice, because you were going to have two Republicans on your ticket, right? On your ballot to vote for. Eric Swalwell was the top Democrat vote getter. And so now he's gone, right? Well, let me backtrack a little bit. He refused to drop out of the race previously because there was some talk. Hey, we got to consolidate this vote, right? We got to narrow this field in. There's way too many Democrats, but Democrats are refusing to drop out of the race. There's more than just this. This isn't even the entire list of Democrats. There's more Democrats than this, but they were all refusing. And so now all of a sudden, this comes up to force him out and force probably Tom Steyer, to be quite honest, because Katie Porter is going to face some issues of her own, which I'm going to get into that here in a second. Some of you might remember, actually, I'm pretty sure I made a video on Katie Porter because she was number one, the number one Democrat at a certain point in time. And some bad things came out about her. But it's looking like Tom Steyer for now, but we shall see, because I've seen Katie Porter ahead of Tom Steyer in another poll as well. So we shall see about that. But, you know, it just gives me a cause to pause. Like, is this coordinated? You know, because they didn't want two Republicans to be running against each other as governor, you know, and you really can't put anything past these Democrats out here. They will do anything to stay in power. We know that. We've seen it. You can book it, right? And so when I start reading stuff like, the fall of Eric Swalwell is a coordinated power play by Democrats. California has a jungle primary, meaning the top two candidates in the primary advance to general election, regardless of party. The Republican candidates are overperforming enough that Democrats are worried the two general election candidates would be Republicans. In order to consolidate the Democrat vote, one of the candidates had to drop out, but Swalwell refused. That's all the party leadership needed to start releasing all the dirt they had collected on him for years. They don't care about his victims, only that he was too stubborn to step aside so they could hold on to power. Like, I feel like there is something to that. Now, is it true that he probably did what he's accused of doing? Yeah. I personally think he genuinely did it. I mean, CNN said that they corroborated it, which it's CNN, right? The Communist News Network. You got to take it with a grain of salt when it's coming from CNN. But I would assume that they were being genuine in a situation like that, which, I mean, it would look really, really bad if they weren't. But here's where I take issue. I don't know if you guys remember. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull this up real quick. And here it is. Long story short, Congress voted on whether or not they wanted to release the names of the individuals in Congress who are using this slush fund, which the slush fund is anywhere between 17, 18, 19. We don't know exactly $1 million. It's a lot of money, but it's used to pay off the victims of SA. Yeah, by congressional members. So congressional members are out here just SAing people, and they dive into this slush fund to pay them off so they stay quiet. And there was a vote to release all of the names involved in using the slush fund, and you know what happened? Well, I'll play the video. Check it out.
We found the one issue that Congress seems to support in bipartisan manner. 357 to 65. Oh, that's not to fund the Department of Homeland Security that's shut down, or veterans issues, or any other general governance. That's the vote to block the release of the details relating to the nearly $18 million Congress has paid out for sexual harassment claims. I mean, it could be more. We actually don't know. I have been screaming about this for years. Congress, no problem here. Nothing to see. $17 million in settlements for things just like this, for the exact same thing. But that's our tax dollars. Many in an election season. That totally fine. Nothing to see here. And I had some hope this might actually get exposed, because just 5 months ago, the same body of Congress voted 427 to 1 to release the Epstein files, you know, for transparency for the mistreatment of young women. Yeah, okay. At least some people in Congress are as irate as I am about this.
I just think it's really disgusting how this institution protects itself, because y'all, just half of them voted to send this stuff to House Ethics, where you know it's going to die. We know that members of Congress are using taxpayer dollars to pay off sexual harassment. We just had a member of Congress literally sexually harass a woman that then lit herself on fire, and you guys all protected him.
Yep, she's right about all that. This fund came out of, this is all going to make.
Yeah, crazy stuff, right? And about the whole lit herself on fire thing, that was true too. Yeah. I believe that was Democrat Congressman. No, I think he was part of the Senate. Ruben Gallego, I think his name is. Don't quote me on that. I believe that is who it is. I could have the name wrong, so forgive me if I do. But so yeah, that's what's giving me a cause to pause on this entire situation. But then also, whenever they speak about it, they always try to throw in Trump somehow. Case in point, check it out.
By now, I'm sure you've all heard about the incredibly serious allegations against Representative Eric Swalwell. He's a Democrat that's running for governor of California as well, and he's been accused of inappropriate behavior, of assaulting women, and other very horrific things. The allegations are detailed. There are records to back it up, text messages to back it up. It is just heartbreaking across the board. And the women who came forward are incredibly courageous. I can only imagine how difficult that must have been. And the creators who were talking about the story before it even dropped share that courage as well. Democrats across the board have called for him to not only drop his bid for governor of California, but to also resign from Congress. And I agree, he should do both of those things. This is yet another example of how the Democratic Party is vastly different than the Republicans. I mean, we hold our own accountable when they do something wrong. The Republicans, on the other hand, they very obviously do not do that, especially when it comes to Trump.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Like, you had me in the first half, and then you went off the rails. And literally every Democrat is doing that exact same thing. Oh yeah, I agree. We got to expel Eric Swalwell. You see, we're much better than the Republicans and Donald Trump. And it's like, wait. What does this have to do with Donald Trump? What does Eric Swalwell and his shenanigans, right, his wrongdoings, have to do with Trump? Why are you bringing up Trump? Oh, it's political. You're trying to gain some political points off of this. Okay. You know what I mean? So like, it gives me a little bit of a cause to pause on this entire situation. Not to say that what is being accused didn't happen, because I fully believe that it did happen. Eric Swalwell definitely seems like one of those types of individuals. And of course, as I said, CNN said the story has been corroborated via text, in phone records, and in medical records. So he most certainly did it, in my humble opinion. But it's just the timing of it. You know, you think they didn't know about this before? You know, I don't know. It's just a lot to process, a whole lot to process. But we shall see how it all plays out, who comes out on top of the ticket as far as Democrats go, where, you know, Eric Swalwell's voters move to. He probably will resign from Congress as well. I fully expect that to happen. I won't be surprised when that announcement is made, because he's already, you know, dropped out of the governor's race for California, which we all know he wouldn't have been a great governor anyway. But yeah. So y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Do you share the same cause to pause as I do, you know, based on what I showed you there? Like, these same individuals, these same Democrats in Congress who all of a sudden care so much about women and victims and all of this other stuff, literally not long ago, it was probably like a month and a half ago, voted no on exposing which congressmen are dipping into the slush fund to pay off SA victims. Y'all voted no on that, to release the names. And now you expect me to believe y'all care so much about victims? Something's not adding up here. Something isn't adding up. But once again, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. I greatly appreciate all of the continued love and support. Thank you guys so much. Peace and love. I'm out.